We will discuss compute, which is an essential and one of the key building blocks of a cloud and digital solution. Compute refers to the computing resources that are needed to run all types of workloads. This is the basic type of service that everyone needs when selecting a cloud computing solution for their project or any other type of venture. Compute is part of the infrastructure services that one can get from the public cloud providers or have it built on premises. The compute instance or service usually refers to the server, CPU, and memory related to the server or instance. An organization can either build their compute instances internally within the organization, or they can subscribe to it from an external cloud provider. The solutions architect also needs to select the required compute services that are best suited for the desired solution. Needless to say, these are the fundamental types of services that every organization needs to run anything on the cloud. This is important not only to ensure that the business's requirements are adequately met in terms of the infrastructure and solution being available to meet the business needs, but also that the cost is contained and controlled as well. Again, as we had mentioned earlier, that the cloud model can potentially provide any number of resources. So the architect needs to ensure to use only what's needed to control the costs and not over-provision compute services where it could cost a lot more to the organization. As for examples of compute, an example of a compute service is AWS's EC2, Azure Virtual Machines, Google's GCP compute engine, or if an organization is hosting on premises, they can build their own custom-built compute instances as well. One of the key focus areas when selecting compute service is the type of application workloads that one wants to run on that service. This is because the application workload determines the needed compute capacity. The compute capacity one needs can vary from very basic to process the workload of a basic application workload, or it can be for a high-performance compute environment where lots of processing power is needed for a lot of data. As an organization's compute capacity can vary, the compute capacity is requested on demand and is based on pay-as-you-go pricing model. In this model, one can essentially get unlimited resources and supply of resources, but again, the solutions architect needs to ensure to optimize the use of these available resources to optimize costs. As for types of compute, cloud providers offer a number of compute instances. Initially, cloud providers used to offer only virtual machines, which are basically virtual servers to run one's workloads. However, with the advancement of application technologies and also with the rise in the complexity and sophistication of application workloads involving data-heavy computing, AI, ML processing, instances for heavy analytics types of use cases, and so on, cloud providers now offer a number of compute instance types and provide a number of options to process such high compute workloads. The popular forms of compute include VMs, bare metal servers, serverless machines, containers, and HPC. These are only the basic computing instances, but cloud providers offer many more types of instances suitable for various workloads. For example, AWS has more than 400 types of instances that it provides to suit the various workload requirements of individuals and businesses. To summarize the slide, just remember that an organization's cloud computing environment can be constructed using a number of compute scenarios, depending on the workload that needs to run, the amount of data that it wants to process, and the overall performance requirements of the application.